Hi, and welcome to Joyriding. I guess my fascination with the second generation Camaro began, well, the moment sketches of that car were leaked to the press back in the late 1960s. The first generation Camaro was very successful on America's racetracks. Mark Donohue won the Trans Am Championship in 1968 and 69 for Chevrolet. First gen Camaros were successful on the drag strips and on the short ovals of America. But boy, this design to me just did it all. It took the muscular Camaro and it gave it smooth European styled lines. The suspension was improved, the engine was larger. Everything about the second generation Camaro I felt was better, and I had to have one. Well, I couldn't afford a new one, but in 1973, I'm driving through Springfield, Massachusetts on State Street, and a car that looked just like this, but for a white vinyl top, was sitting on the corner of a used car lot. And I started scheming and trying to figure out how could I buy that car. They wanted $3,300 for it, which was way more money than I had. But I found a sympathetic banker to loan me $2,400 at $100 a month, and I had my nearly new Z28 Camaro. Put nearly 50,000 miles on it. What was so great about it? Well, the previous 302 cubic inch engine was now 350 cubic inch engines, the legendary LT1. It had the M21 close ratio 4-speed. It had the mag looking wheels. The only Camaro to come with 15-inch wheels was the Z28. And every Z28 had the F41 optional suspension. So this was a real corner carver. We lowered it further. We added the big spoiler on the back that had become available late in 1970 for the Trans Am series, and we tried to make it as much a road-going replica of a real Trans Am car as possible. The Trans Am series was the biggest thing in America, bigger even than NASCAR, maybe second only to the Indy 500. And it's a legendary list of names that raced in the Trans Am. This is an advertising poster for the 1970 race at my home racetrack, Lime Rock Park. So just the idea that the Jim Hall Chaparral Camaros and Warren Agor and those who followed were racing cars almost just like this, and that really appealed to me. Now, one styling feature about the second-gen Camaros that gets a lot of discussion is the front end. This is the standard front end for all Camaros. There is an optional Rally Sport front end that does away with this parking light below the bumper, and there's a round European driving light style parking light and turn signal here. There is no full width bumper, just bumperettes from here over on each side. And the grille is in an Endura-faced steel assembly, so the front is impact resistant. I prefer this for two reasons. One, I think the full width bumper visually widens the car. I think that's a better look. But most importantly, this nose is nearly 100 pounds lighter than the Endura nose and bumperettes of the Rally Sport version. So this is what they raced in the Trans Am series. So that's what I had to have. Add the D80 front spoiler, which on mine we lengthened an additional 3 inches to improve gas mileage on the highway for sure, and downforce at high speeds, maybe. It was a great car. And unfortunately, it no longer exists in this form. The fellow in Massachusetts who owns my 71 Z28 has turned it into a big block straight line machine, totally unlike this one. So I found this car in Seekonk, Massachusetts, bought it, and had Joey Gray in Arcadia, North Carolina, who is the East Coast master at 70 to 73 Camaros. That's all he works on. And Joey was able to massage this and turn it into as close to a replica of the car that I lovingly remember as possible. So our Camaro love doesn't stop here with these Mulsanne blue beauties. Scott and I have a pair of 1970 cars that raced in the Trans Am series in period, and can't wait to get to Monterey, give them an outing, and see if we can go thrash some Mustangs, Cudas, and Challengers with them. Here in the pages of Vintage Motorsport Magazine, Nick Lish's a very nice article on Scott's and my racing. There's the Owens Corning Camaro that I get to drive. Scott is in the former Walter Parkins orange Camaro, now numbered 17. And if you come out to Laguna Seca and the Rolex Monterey Motorsports reunion in another week, come in the paddock, come down Trans Am Alley, come see us and say hi.